Could Ryan Poles be cooking up something behind the scenes in Chicago? Bears fans, buckle up, because NFL trade rumors are heating up and the Bears are right in the middle of it. With roster cutdowns right around the corner and teams scrambling to fine-tune their rosters before Week 1, this is the time of year when unexpected moves can start flying in. So let's dive into what's circulating around the Bears and why this could be a pivotal moment for the front office. First off, let's talk about the landscape. The Bears, like all NFL teams, are facing a deadline. By next Tuesday, every team has to trim their rosters down to 53 players. And when that clock starts ticking, so do the phones. Executives across the league are calling, negotiating, trying to fill gaps, and unload assets they don't want to lose for nothing. In Chicago, they're right in that mix, looking to strike the right balance between building for the future and being competitive right now. Now, the biggest name that's being floated around in these trade talks? Trey Hendrickson. Yes, that Trey Hendrickson, the Pro Bowl caliber pass rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. The idea of Hendrickson in a Bears uniform is intriguing, especially considering the questions surrounding Chicago's current edge rush group. But here's the kicker. The Bengals reportedly want a young defensive player and a first-round pick in 2026. That's a steep price for a 30-year-old pass rusher who's looking for a contract extension with hefty guarantees. Let's be real here. Cincinnati's stance seems completely out of touch with reality. Asking for a first-rounder plus a player, all for a guy whose camp is demanding guaranteed money into his mid-30s? That's a big gamble. Teams around the league are definitely interested in Hendrickson. He's still producing at a high level, but nobody is going to mortgage future draft capital and give out a mega deal just to land him. And honestly, if you're Ryan Poles, you got to ask yourself, is this the time to go all in on a 30-year-old edge rusher? Especially when you consider where the Bears are in their rebuild. This isn't a team that's one player away from a Super Bowl. They're improving, no doubt. But trading a first-round pick, one of your most valuable assets, for a short-term boost? That doesn't feel like the smart play. And let's not forget, Hendrickson is going to want a new deal immediately. Not only are you giving up significant capital to get him, but you're also committing tens of millions of guaranteed dollars before he even plays a snap for you. Meanwhile, there are injury concerns on the current depth chart. Austin Booker's dealing with a knee issue. Dominique Robinson left the field with an ankle injury. And while neither injury seems long-term, any uncertainty at that position makes the idea of adding a proven pass rusher even more tempting. But the question becomes, at what cost? Is it worth breaking the bank and giving up a future cornerstone draft pick when this team still has multiple areas that need reinforcing? Let's be honest. Hendrickson is better than every edge rusher currently on the Bears roster. That's not even a debate. But the drop-off in value between what you'd give up to get him and what's available elsewhere is what really makes this whole discussion interesting. If you're going to spend big, it needs to be the right fit at the right time. And right now, the Bears might be better off exploring more affordable and, frankly, more logical options. Think about guys like Zadarius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney. Veterans, experienced, still productive, and most importantly, they won't cost you a first-round pick and a young player. Both of these players have proven they can contribute in rotational roles or even as part-time starters. Zadarius Smith is still a disruptive force off the edge. Clowney might not be the dominant force he was projected to be as a number 1 pick, but he's still a valuable piece when used correctly. He can defend a run, get after the quarterback in spurts, and provide leadership in a young locker room. Now, yes, both of those players come with caveats. Clowney's knee has been a concern for years, and at this point, you're probably managing his snap count carefully to keep him healthy. But even at 30 snaps a game, he's more impactful than some of the guys Chicago's currently running out there. And Smith? He's bounced around the league a bit, but when he's on, he's a problem for offensive lines. He can still collapse a pocket and make plays in key moments. And best of all, neither of these guys will cost you anything close to what it would take to land Trey Hendrickson. There's also something to be said about locker room fit. Adding a player in August isn't just about plugging a hole. You're bringing in a personality, a work ethic, a leader, or a potential distraction. It's got to be the right kind of guy. The Bears are building a culture under Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, And that means every piece they add has to mesh with the bigger picture. You're not just adding sacks, you're adding presence. That's where a guy like Smith might have the edge over Hendrickson, who's in the middle of a contract standoff and might come in with different priorities. And let's not ignore the financial side of this. The Bears have been careful, some would say methodical, about how they're managing the salary cap. They're not in cap hell, but they're not rolling in space either. Committing massive guaranteed money to a player who's on the back nine of his career, even one as talented as Hendrickson, could end up biting them long-term. And again, what are you sacrificing? Draft capital, development time for younger players, cap flexibility, all to fix one position when others still need work? This is why the smart move might be patience. Wait out the Bengals. See if that asking price drops as they realize no one's biting. Maybe the deal shifts from a first-rounder to a second or third. Maybe the player they want coming back isn't someone you're high on anyway. But until that price comes down, it's a hard pass. Polls have shown he's not afraid to be aggressive. Look at the DJ Moore trade. But he's also been calculated. This would be the time to stay disciplined. At the same time, Chicago still needs to address that edge spot. Injuries are a concern. Depth is questionable. And while there's potential in guys like Booker, counting on that potential to carry you through a 17-game season, that's risky. You got to be realistic. Bringing in a veteran makes too much sense. You can protect yourself against injuries, rotate your pass rushers to keep them fresh, and, maybe most importantly, not rush your young guys into roles they're not ready for. So while the Trey Hendrickson rumor is the headline grabber, it might not be the smartest play on the board. Cheaper, more experienced options are sitting there. And if Poles wants to upgrade the pass rush without mortgaging the future, that's probably the route he should go. It keeps the team competitive this year without compromising what they're building toward in the long run. And let's not overlook the possibility of even more names becoming available as we get closer to roster cuts. Every year there are surprise cuts, unexpected trades, and front offices scrambling to make last-minute moves. If the Bears are patient, the right deal might fall into their lap. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to work. At the end of the day, Bears fans should be excited that this team is in a position where trades even make sense. That's a big shift from where things were just a couple years ago. The fact that they're being mentioned in connection with high-level players like Hendrickson means people are paying attention. Chicago is no longer just trying to survive. They're trying to win. But winning, especially in the long term, takes discipline. And it means knowing when to walk away from a deal that looks good on the surface, but doesn't make sense once you dig into the details. Now, while all eyes are on the potential pursuit of a high-end edge rusher, there's another storyline quietly gaining traction that might actually have a more realistic outcome. And that's the idea of adding a running back. Specifically, Brian Robinson Jr. from the Washington Commanders. This one hasn't gotten the same flashy headlines as the Hendrickson rumors, but make no mistake, there's legitimate smoke here, and if the Bears are going to make a move before the season kicks off, this might be the most logical and cost-effective play they can make. So here's the setup. Brian Robinson Jr., former third-round pick, tough, physical runner, is entering the final year of his rookie deal. And Washington? They're making it clear they're ready to move on. They scratched him from their most recent preseason game. Not because of injury, but as a mutual decision to avoid risk while trade talks continue. That right there is as loud a signal as you'll get in this league. When a team is about to trade a player, the last thing they want is for him to take the field and get hurt. Once that happens, trade value vanishes instantly. So when Robinson didn't suit up, that wasn't just a coincidence. That was a message. And this isn't just speculation. There are multiple reports now confirming that Washington is actively shopping him. This is no longer a monitor the situation type of deal. The Commanders want to deal him, and Robinson wants a new opportunity. And for the Bears, this could be a golden opportunity to bolster a backfield that, while interesting on paper, has more questions than answers heading into the season. Right now, the Bears running back room is built around DeAndre Swift, a dynamic and explosive runner with breakaway potential. But Swift isn't a bell cow. He's not the guy you hand the ball off to 20 times a game and ask to hammer out tough yards between the tackles. He's a home run hitter, and every good offense needs one. But he needs a partner who can handle the grind. Someone who can take pressure off the quarterback, keep the offense on schedule, and we're down defenses over 4 quarters. That's where Brian Robinson fits in. He's never been the flashiest back. He's not going to break an 80-yard touchdown or juke 3 defenders out of their cleats. But what he is reliable, tough, consistent. He gets downhill, finishes runs, and doesn't shy away from contact. He's the kind of back that coaches love because you know exactly what you're going to get from him. 3 yards here, 5 yards there. First down. Move the chains. That matters, especially when you're trying to build an offense that can stay ahead of the sticks and keep opposing defenses honest. Last season, Robinson put up over 800 rushing yards on less than 200 carries. That's an impressive level of efficiency, especially when you consider that Washington's offense was all over the place. He averaged over 4.3 yards per carry, found the end zone 8 times, and added sneaky value as a receiver. Nearly 600 yards and 5 touchdowns through the air in his young career. This is a guy who can play all 3 downs if you need him to, and more importantly, he doesn't disappear in short yardage or red zone situations. He's a weapon, and he's available. Now compare that to what the Bears currently have behind Swift. Roscoe Johnson, who is supposed to be a rising star in this backfield, can't stay healthy. Every time it feels like he's about to break through, another injury pops up. And it's not just about missing time, it's about trust. Can you count on him to be available when it matters most? So far, the answer has been no. And then there's Kyle Monangai. Exciting young rookie, physical style, flashes of promise. But again, he's already dinged up. And he's a 7th-round pick. That's a lottery ticket, not a guarantee. Travis Homer is more of a special teams guy. And while you always want depth there, he's not someone you build a backfield around. That's why Brian Robinson makes so much sense. He's the perfect complement to Swift. He brings a different style, one that can balance the offense, keep the defense guessing, and take pressure off the passing game. Pairing those two would give the Bears one of the more balanced and versatile backfield duos in the league. Swift can attack the edges, get outside, catch passes out of the backfield. Robinson can handle the middle, grind out yards, and punch it in when you're inside the 5. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating around the NFL landscape, and the latest one is impossible to ignore. Jordan MAILATA, the formidable offensive lineman known as the Human Wall, has reportedly agreed to leave Philadelphia to join the Chicago Bears. A move that is already stirring speculation, excitement, and a hint of controversy among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. MAILATA's tenure with the Eagles was marked by a transformation from an untested rugby player to one of the most intimidating presences on the field, and his sudden departure has sent shockwaves through a franchise that had come to rely on his combination of size, agility, and raw athletic potential. According to sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity, negotiations between the Bears and MAILATA were intense, with the player reportedly seeking not just a lucrative contract, but also a situation where he could further develop his skills and cement his reputation as one of the league's most dominant offensive linemen. The Bears, meanwhile, are said to have seen in MAILATA a transformative piece capable of elevating their offensive line to a level previously unseen, with insiders noting that his arrival could fundamentally alter the team's approach to both pass protection and run-blocking schemes. Observers have been quick to point out that MAILATA's unique combination of size, reach, and surprising mobility makes him one of the most disruptive linemen in football, and Chicago seems poised to leverage that in a way that Philadelphia, for reasons that remain unclear, may not have fully exploited. Rumors of tension with coaching staff or differences in offensive philosophy have only added fuel to the fire, though neither MAILATA nor the Eagles have publicly confirmed these theories. What is clear, however, is that this move is more than a mere roster change. It represents a potential shift in power dynamics within the NFC North and a statement of intent from a Bears franchise eager to shake off mediocrity and reassert itself as a force to be reckoned with on the offensive front. The implications of MAILATA's reported departure for the Eagles cannot be overstated, as the team now faces the daunting task of replacing a lineman whose presence on the field was both literal and psychological. Throughout his tenure in Philadelphia, MAILATA's size and technique were not only formidable in blocking defensive threats, but also an inspiring confidence among quarterbacks and fellow linemen, creating a sense of security that allowed the offense to execute plays with a level of daring and creativity that might otherwise have seemed risky. Insiders suggest that the Eagles are already exploring multiple avenues for replacement, including potential trades, free agent signings, and the promotion of promising talent from within their ranks. But none of these options are likely to immediately replicate MAILATA's blend of power, reach, and agility. Fans have expressed a mixture of disappointment and curiosity, with social media buzzing about how the Eagles' offensive schemes might adjust, while commentators debate whether the departure signals a larger philosophical shift in team-building strategy. Meanwhile, the Bears are reportedly planning to integrate MAILATA into a reimagined offensive line that emphasizes both protection and versatility, allowing running backs more room to maneuver and quarterbacks more confidence to execute complex passing schemes under pressure. The murmurs suggest that coaches see MAILATA as a linchpin capable of redefining Chicago's offensive identity, a lineman whose sheer physicality could inspire a more aggressive, assertive approach on every snap. Some insiders have even gone so far as to hint that this acquisition is part of a broader strategy to position the Bears as a contender in the NFC North, leveraging MAILATA's rare athletic gifts to transform what had been a middling offensive line into a unit that could dominate games and command respect across the league. The move, whether framed as strategic genius or a gamble, has already sparked debates about talent evaluation, player development, and the increasingly fluid nature of NFL roster dynamics, highlighting MAILATA's growing significance not just as an individual athlete, but as a catalyst for organizational change and ambition in both Philadelphia and Chicago. Speculation surrounding the Bears' plans for MAILATA extends beyond mere positional impact, with sources claiming that coaching staff envision a dramatic evolution in their offensive schemes, ones that may well push the boundaries of conventional line play. Observers suggest that MAILATA's unparalleled combination of size, speed, and adaptability allows for innovative formations and blocking strategies that could confound opponents, granting quarterbacks critical seconds to survey the field and orchestrate high-stakes plays that were previously considered too risky. Rumors in the league hint that Chicago intends to experiment with motion-heavy packages, pulling schemes, and even dual-role options for MAILATA, who has demonstrated a rare ability to transition smoothly between standard lineman responsibilities and more dynamic movement across the line of scrimmage. The buzz among analysts is that this strategic flexibility may mark a turning point not only for the Bears season, but potentially for how offensive lines are utilized league-wide, as MAILATA's presence could encourage a reevaluation of traditional assumptions about lineman mobility, reach, and leverage in both run blocking and pass protection contexts. Fans have eagerly dissected every reported detail, from practice drills to potential starting formations, drawing animated conclusions about how MAILATA's signature agility could amplify the impact of the entire offense. Compounding the intrigue, whispers suggest that MAILATA himself may be relishing the challenge, reportedly engaging in private training sessions designed to refine techniques that exploit defensive weaknesses and maximize his own physical advantages. While official statements remain minimal, the underlying tension of these rumors reflects the high stakes and dramatic implications of a single roster move capable of reshaping a franchise's offensive identity. In this climate of anticipation, speculation has become almost a sport in itself, with insiders, analysts, and fans contributing to a growing narrative that paints MAILATA not just as a player, but as a potentially transformative figure whose arrival could redefine what is possible on the line of scrimmage and elevate the Bears to heights long dreamed of yet rarely achieved in recent years. The psychological reverberations of MAILATA's rumored move are as compelling as the tactical ones, as both Philadelphia and Chicago now find themselves navigating a wave of expectation, excitement, and potential tension. For the Eagles, the departure of a player of MAILATA's stature, both physically and in terms of influence within the locker room, raises questions about morale, leadership, and a message sent to remaining players about loyalty, opportunity, and career trajectory. Reports suggest that internal discussions are underway to reassure teammates and adjust leadership responsibilities. Yet the void left by MAILATA's departure is expected to resonate on and off the field, particularly in high-pressure scenarios where his presence had previously been both a stabilizing and motivating factor. Meanwhile, the Bears are said to be fostering a sense of anticipation and confidence around MAILATA's integration, with coaching staff, veterans, and teammates reportedly engaging in discussions about how best to harness his unique talents without disrupting existing chemistry. Rumors hint at special mentoring programs, customized conditioning regimens, and strategic collaboration aimed at ensuring MAILATA's transition is smooth and productive, emphasizing both immediate performance gains and long-term team cohesion. Social media, podcasts, and fan forums have been abuzz with conjecture, celebrating MAILATA's potential impact, while simultaneously speculating about how his arrival could shift league perceptions of the Bears' competitiveness. The intrigue surrounding these developments illustrates the broader narrative power inherent in high-profile player moves. Beyond statistics and playbooks, they shape identities, influence reputations, and can redefine the cultural and emotional landscape of entire franchises. MAILATA's rumored switch, therefore, resonates as a story not merely of athletic prowess, but of ambition, strategy, and the unpredictable human elements that make professional sports a constant source of fascination and debate across cities, media platforms, and fan bases alike. Amidst the swirl of rumors, the financial and contractual dimensions of MAILATA's potential move have also become a topic of considerable discussion, with insiders speculating about salary structures, performance incentives, and long-term guarantees designed to reflect both his proven impact and projected future contributions. Sources indicate that negotiations may have involved complex considerations regarding signing bonuses, roster protection clauses, and incentives tied directly to offensive line performance metrics, underscoring how high the stakes are for both player and franchise. Analysts point out that securing MAILATA is not simply a matter of acquiring a talent, but also of making a strategic investment in the Bears' future, one that could affect draft strategy, salary cap planning, and long-term roster construction. Meanwhile, the speculation surrounding Philadelphia's response has been equally fervent, with rumors suggesting that the Eagles may pursue both immediate replacements and developmental prospects to mitigate the financial and competitive impact of losing a player of MAILATA's caliber. Fans have taken to dissecting these reports, debating whether the Bears' investment represents a calculated risk with the potential for exponential returns or an audacious gamble that could disrupt long-term financial planning. Social media has amplified every leaked detail, with mock contract calculations, predictive models, and hypothetical game scenarios dominating discussion forums, illustrating how player movement extends far beyond the field into complex intersections of economics, performance analytics, and public perception. In this context, MAILATA's rumored transition exemplifies the multifaceted nature of contemporary professional sports, where athletic, strategic, and financial considerations intertwine, creating a narrative that is simultaneously tangible in its immediate effects and speculative in its broader implications. The fervor surrounding these developments highlights the extraordinary significance attributed to elite players in shaping both the fortunes and the identities of modern NFL franchises, transforming what might have been a routine trade into a story of intrigue, negotiation, and potential league-wide ramifications. Finally, the cultural and fan-driven dimensions of the MAILATA story continue to gain momentum, with the rumor mill suggesting that his departure could redefine not only team strategies, but also the perception of player mobility, loyalty, and superstar impact across the league. Social media conversations, fan forums, and unofficial podcasts have become arenas of debate, celebrating MAILATA's athletic journey while speculating on the ripple effect his move could have on both Philadelphia and Chicago's fan bases. Insider chatter hints at community outreach initiatives, marketing campaigns, and brand partnerships that could be catalyzed by MAILATA's presence, transforming him from a mere on-field asset into a symbol of the Bears' ambition and identity. Additionally, the narrative surrounding his unconventional path from rugby to elite NFL lineman has been amplified by commentators seeking to contextualize the significance of his skill set and potential influence on upcoming generations of athletes. Rumors suggest that Chicago's front office is keenly aware of the media and public relations value of MAILATA's story, planning to leverage his persona in ways that extend far beyond the gridiron. Meanwhile, Philadelphia fans are reportedly engaging in a mixture of nostalgia, frustration, and curiosity, reflecting on what MAILATA's presence meant for the franchise while pondering the future trajectory of the offensive line. This swirling combination of sports strategy, personal branding, and fan sentiment has created an ecosystem of discussion, speculation, and narrative building that underscores the modern dynamics of professional football. As the rumors continue to circulate, the MAILATA saga exemplifies the way a single player's movement can ignite a multifaceted conversation spanning competitive, financial, psychological, and cultural dimensions, positioning him as a figure whose influence may redefine not only a team's fortunes, but also perceptions of what an offensive lineman can accomplish in the NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.